Imagine England in the 1800s. It was a time of big changes, but also a time when life was very different for the rich and the poor. In these uncertain times, a young boy named Henry Royce had a very difficult childhood. Born in 1863, the youngest of 5 children, Henry's family had very little money and struggled to survive. Life was hard, and they could barely afford the basic things they needed. When Henry was only 9 years old, something terrible happened. His father, who worked in a mill, died. This was a huge loss for Henry and his family. He had to leave school and find a job to help his family. His first job was delivering newspapers. It wasn't much, but it taught him to work hard. Every day he walked the streets, no matter the weather, bringing people the news and seeing a little bit of the world outside his own. But just when things were getting a little easier, Henry lost his newspaper job. Determined to keep going, he found a new job at a place where they built trains. Surrounded by the sounds of metal and steam, he became fascinated by machines and how they worked. This early experience sparked something in him, a love for engineering that would one day make him famous in the world of cars. Even though life was hard, Henry never gave up hope. He believed that if he worked hard enough, he could overcome anything. This belief, made stronger by his difficult childhood, would push him to do amazing things. He was determined to make something of himself, to show the world that even a poor boy could achieve great things. The railway workshop became Henry's school. He was eager to learn and soaked up knowledge like a sponge. He learned everything about how machines worked, how gears and levers moved together with the power of steam. He was a natural at engineering, and the other workers respected him for it. But after 3 years, something bad happened again. The company he worked for ran out of money and closed, leaving Henry without a job. But Henry didn't give up. He saw this as a chance to start fresh. He knew he had the skills and the willpower to succeed, and he was ready to make his own way in the world. With the little money he had saved, Henry moved to the city of Leeds. He found a job making tools, which helped him learn even more and get better at his craft. He became known for his attention to detail and his excellent work. Henry wasn't satisfied with just doing a good job. He wanted everything to be perfect. Around this time, Henry became interested in electricity. He saw how this new technology could change the world. He spent hours learning about electricity, teaching himself everything he could about this new field. He read books, went to lectures, and did whatever it took to master this exciting new technology. Henry Royce was a man on a mission, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a belief in himself. In 1884, when he was 21, Henry Royce decided to take a big risk. He and his friend, Ernest Claremont, started their own company in Manchester called Royce and Company. They only had £20 to start with, money that Henry's aunt had helped them borrow. They rented a small workspace, and this became the place where Henry's dreams would start to come true. Royce and Company began by making small electrical things like doorbells. They also made dynamos, which created electricity and lamps to light up homes. Henry's dedication to quality and his attention to detail made their products stand out. His motto was, "Strive for perfection in everything you do. Take the best that exists and make it better. When it does not exist, design it." This became the company's guiding principle. People started talking about how well-made Royce's products were, and word spread beyond Manchester. Soon they had more orders than they could handle, and the company started to thrive. Henry was always looking for ways to improve, and he came up with new designs for dynamos that made them more reliable and powerful. This earned Royce and Company a reputation for excellence. Even though his company was successful, Henry wasn't satisfied. He wanted to explore new and exciting inventions. He was very interested in the new automobile industry, which was starting to grow quickly. He saw it as a natural next step after working with engines and electrical systems. He had no idea that this interest would soon lead him to a meeting that would change the history of cars forever.